La, 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 la. Hey, this is a song for my haters. Yeah, you got me feeling like the greatest.
Throw, dropping the pass, in trouble. He gets the pass away over the middle, and it's picked off at the 20-yard line. Dansby makes the interception.
Welcome back to another episode of PCP Press Coverage Podcast. I'm your host, E. Dansby, and today we got a special guest sitting in with us, a CSRA basketball legend, a former Thompson Bulldog, an all-Big East player from Pitt University, also a first-round draft pick by the Golden State Warriors, and also, by the way, the Philadelphia 76ers, no other than Mr. Vonteego Cummings himself. What's up, bro?
What's up?
Man. Hey, always good having you on the show, man. Glad you took out your time just to come down here and sit with us, talk with us, man. I definitely appreciate it, man. But before we dive into your amazing journey, man, from Thompson to the NBA, first just got to get your initial thoughts on Thompson football, able to capture another state championship, the first one in 20 years. They bring it back to the McDuffie County, representing the CSRA. What's your thoughts on that game itself in the state championship, and what's your thoughts on this season?
Well, I thought it was great, man. You know, they brought the state championship back to the city. You know, football is what we breed, and sure. You know, it's a football town, so it's good to see them do it after 20 years. But we expect that, you know what I mean? Like, it took 20 years to get another one, but we expect that every year. So, that's not, you know, it's nothing new. I mean, it's exciting that we won. You know, it's big for the community. But if we don't win the state, it's an understatement. It's not good. You know?
Right. Yeah, it's one of those programs where it's kind of state championship.
Yeah, state championship
of busting, man. Like I said, man, it was just great to see, man. It was great not only for McDuffie County and Thompson and just that area, just great for the CSRA, man, able to capture another state championship. I believe they were the last team to be in the state championship in the CSRA, I think, back in 2017, where I think they got beat. But like I said, they come back again this year and make amends, man, led by Coach Michael Youngblood, young stellar player, John Tavius Curry, a lot of other guys, you know what I'm saying, they're able to get it done. And I always tell people all the time, man, I think people underestimate how hard it is to actually win a state championship in any sport.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard. It's
Definitely.
very, very hard. People, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, you know.
It's very hard. You know, for the most part, you know, the winning team, they're going to be the most disciplined.
Right.
They're going to be the ones that do everything correct.
Exactly.
You know, it is not always the team that the most talented. Right. You know, so most of the time it's going to be the team that, you know, they're going to get rewarded for their hard work.
Right.
You know, so if you put in the work and you work hard, and along with a little talent, you will win it, because, you know, we're loaded with talent around that area. So, and we have a lot of skilled players. So it was time for us to get another one, you know. So, like I said, it's championship or bust in our area in football. So when we don't get one, it's like we're preparing for the next year. So immediately.
Right, exactly. Like you said, man, those guys were stellar, man. Like I said, John Tavius Curry is doing this thing, man. Good coaching, good discipline. Those guys win 2 on the road, man. Underdogs, like you said, the most disciplined team, they get able to get it done, and then they go win one of the neutral site. So like I said, man, big ups to Thompson, man, and I don't think this will be the last one we'll see. They got a lot of good players coming back, man. So just, you know, diving right into your story, man, your amazing journey, man. You know, just tell us about your upbringing in Thompson, man, and just how you fell in love with the game of basketball.
You know, I'm from Thompson, Georgia. Everybody know that, you know. So I grew up in this, you know, in Thompson and Cherokee. It was a fun area to play in, you know, and at the time it was just a great place to be, you know. Like, I didn't know nothing else, you know. That's where I knew, and I just got into basketball. And I know my mom played basketball. My father didn't play basketball. All my mother's side played basketball.
Okay.
As you know, I had family members that played at Georgetown, so, you know, I'm pretty deep with the basketball family on my mother's side. So I think that's originally where I picked the ball up.
Right, I got you. And like I said, just saying that, man, and just, you know, just doing my homework, man, just seeing other platforms you've been on, man. I know, you know, coming up as a youngster in Thompson, man, you was tied into the program from early on, just being the water boy. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you don't see the water boy is always just the water boy. They never really go on to play, you know, play the actual sport. And if they do it just because you was the water boy. But like I said, man, you come up, man, watching guys like Chris Nars, Troy Pascal, Charles Tynes, Marcus Allen, Alfonso Collins, and Xavier Smith. That's just to name a few, man, during that 90s period, man. So, you know, seeing Coach Thomas' system, watching those guys before you, what was some expectations for Vonteego going into Thompson?
Well, I think I like to, you know, give a shout out to everybody that played a role in blessing me into being the person that I am today. Like, sure. Coach Thomas played a hand in that. I had some school teachers, of course, my parents,
right?
You know, and then, of course, the man up above. But I actually got into being a water boy because, you know, basketball season is played during the winter.
Right.
and you know, Thompson is a big area for pickup games back in that time.
Right.
But I always thought that, always had a dream that I would make it to the NBA.
For sure.
So at an early age, I figured if I became a water boy, I don't have to play on concrete so much. I can just play in the gym.
Gotcha.
So my original thought was to be a water boy, was to just be in the gym and be around the ball.
I got you.
So maybe I could shoot, but little did I know that Coach Thompson ran like a military program at the time.
Right.
Like, so there was no shooting when someone is talking. There's no dribbling when someone is talking. It's all detail oriented, you know, like, so when I got there, I started to just, I couldn't run around with the ball, so I started to sit on the side and just watch.
Right.
And always liked basketball, you know, I always knew it was in my family, but I just started to watch, and as me watching, as an early age, I became a student of the game, and I just started to pick up things, you know. So I started to watch the guys. Like, my favorite player from Thompson always wanted to be this guy. His name is Roger Hatcher.
Okay.
Like, to me, he's the best player to ever come out of Thompson.
Okay.
Everybody says me, but I say him.
Right, for sure.
You know, I say I'm just the most publicized.
Right.
But I say Roger Hatcher is. But so I grew up, when I first became a water boy, Roger Hatcher was on that team.
Right.
And he's a guy that could play 1 through 4. And in high school, he could play 5, really. But Coach Thompson just played him, you know. Actually, Coach Thompson played him 2 through 4.
Okay.
So, and he was a left-handed guy, which I wasn't left-handed, but, you know, I gravitated to him, and he's the guy that I really wanted to be like. And he had a scholarship to Iowa State. You know, he just caught up, you know, like a lot of guys from Thompson, they get caught up.
Right.
You know, but he's a great guy, you know, and I looked up to him. He was a role model to me. So he's the guy that I wanted to be. So when I first got there, he was playing.
Right.
And then the Chris Norris, the Dion Board, the Xavier Smith, all of them started to come. But I know all of these guys. These guys are older than me, but I know these guys from the neighborhood.
Gotcha.
You know, so I watch them play in the neighborhood. You know, at this time I can't play, I'm too small. But I watch them and I'm out there.
Right.
So, and then once I became a water boy and it became more of organized.
Gotcha.
So I started to pay attention, and I watched a lot of them, and I emulated some of them when I go play with my friends.
Right.
When, you know, even though I'm much younger. So I just took some of their, you know, something for each one of them game. I really liked what I saw, and Coach Thompson was very instrumental in my life. And at that time, he saw something in me that maybe nobody else saw, but maybe my parents and him. But my parents is not the type to brag on me or, you know, even give me my flowers. My parents are even kill.
Yeah, my
you know, so, you know, Coach Thompson saw something in me, and I stuck around to time for me to play organized ball in middle school. And by that time, and I was well blossomed. I was real bloom, and it was off to the races.
Yeah, man, and that's what's up, man. Like I said, man, you just listening to that, man. You know, being a guy, man, that's like you said, a legend from Thompson, but you just paying homage to the guys that's before you.
Yeah, I always do that because without them, I couldn't be who I am now.
Right.
Like, exactly. I watched them guys grow up, and even though I was much younger, I was like their younger brother. They hung out with me. They took me under. They did things with me. They, you know, gave me input. They tell me what not to do, what to do. You know, so not only do I pay homage to them, I look at all of them guys as my big brother.
Right, exactly, man. And like you said, it seemed like Coach Thomas had a program, and like you said, it was built on discipline, principles. You know, definitely had just buy into his program, man. So that, like I said, just shout out to that, man. So like I said, you get into Thompson, man. You know, like you said, you play middle school ball. You come up playing a little league middle school. So you get to Thompson, and you don't start just right away initially, man. You playing behind Troy Pascal, who's a junior, but you're seeing a lot of heavy minutes as a true freshman.
Yeah,
you getting a lot of playing time.
But I knew I wasn't going to start.
Right,
going into as a freshman, like. Troy Pascal is my cousin, but he's also my sandbox friend.
Gotcha.
We grew up in the same neighborhood. We grew up in the sandbox. We was best friends growing up. We had days where we dressed alike.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
like, so
one of them.
Troy Pascal was like not only my teammate, he was my family, and he was like my brother. He was one of my best friends.
Right.
So I had no problem playing behind him at all.
Right.
That was never going to be an issue. And I knew in 7th grade, when I got to 9th grade, I'm going to have to play behind Troy.
Right.
I know that. So that was never an issue. So, and, you know, we was loaded. Then we had the Pat Rogers. We had the Alfonso Collins. We had Bernard Bell. We had Carlo Lampkin.
Yeah.
So we was loaded, so I didn't have to play. I just have to just be me.
Right.
Like, I didn't have to carry a team. I didn't have to, do any of that. I just came in and I played a part. And as that season went on, my part just became bigger.
Right.
And that was a great team. We went on to the Final Four, and I really think that team a lot because that team, after that season, I became ranked.
Right.
So I think that team.
Right.
Like, so I give a lot of my high school career to my freshman year, which a lot of other people give it to my back end.
Right.
But I give it to my freshman year.
Yeah.
So, and, those guys helped me out because at one point, I was running around doing me, and
That's all of us.
Yeah, and I almost got caught up, and, Coach Thomas saved me along with a couple other teachers. So, and this is all my freshman year.
Right.
So that's my most important year of my basketball career, my freshman year.
Gotcha, man. Like I said, man, just shout out to that maturation process, man. Like you said, seeing it young and then knowing like, okay, I'll have to sit. Because now we see what I use, so in youth basketball, even in football, we see now where guys don't want to sit, and now we see this thing of the explosion of the transfer portal. Everything is so microwavable. Nobody wants to sit. No one wants to, go up under somebody and just learn from them. So, like I said, shout out to you for that, man. Because like I said, we don't see that nowadays.
What I understood too at that time was, I knew I was blessed,
right?
A little better than my peers, but for the most part, like as a ninth grader, you play JV.
Right.
You don't really play varsity. You know what I mean? So I understand that.
Right.
Like, so for me to go and have to sit, that was never an issue. And I had been a water boy, like I said earlier. I was a water boy from the time I was in second grade.
Okay.
So I seen the process. I seen guys come in, have to wait their turn.
Yeah, exactly.
So I had no problem with that. Like, I just wanted to play for Thompson High. That's all. When I see them run out, seeing my uncle play as a little kid, seeing Troy Pascal play,
right?
Seeing all the people play before me, I just want to play for Thompson. I ain't care if I played or didn't play. I just happened to be blessed.
Gotcha, man. And like you said, man, like I said, it seemed like there was no ego in there. Sometimes I feel like today's player, man, they have a lot of ego, but seems like a guy who's been a star, in the making. He didn't have no ego coming out, man. He was able to learn from the older guys, man. So eventually, man, your time comes as a sophomore, man. You're now leading these guys, man. You guys, I think, was able to go on and win a region championship that year, right? Able to win the region championship. So now, just tell us about that first season. Now, just being the man, of course, one of the leaders on the team, being the starting point guard. What was that first season like, just starting for you?
Well, actually, my sophomore year, we started 2 point guards.
Okay.
Like Troy Pascal and I started together.
All right.
Like he was still there. He was a senior. I was a sophomore.
Okay.
So I guess coach just felt like after my freshman year, I made a big impact. Now I'm nationally ranked. So I guess he felt like he had to make room for me or whatever. So he just played me on the wing. But it was a situation where whatever guard get it, just go.
Gotcha.
And me and Troy had been playing together from Sandbox. Like I told you, we grew up together.
Right.
So we had already had chemistry together. But we never showed it in high school my freshman year because I always played behind him.
Right.
So we never got a chance to play together. So once we started to play together, that's when I really blossomed because now I'm very athletic. I don't always have to have the ball. I can cut back door. I know he's going to hit me. I know he's going to throw because we have chemistry from back in the neighborhood.
Right.
So, and all the other guys, I know them. I grew up with them, and I played with them, with the Alfonso Collins, with the Alonzo Williams, the Charles Tyers, the Paul Jones, the Cedric Shell, so the Ron Atonis. There was never no ego. They all understood that, at that time, like, I had blossomed, but they also felt like I worked for everything that I was receiving.
Right.
So everything that came, we took it and we ran with it and we did it with confidence and we did it like we was from Thompson.
Hey, I got you, man. Like I said, hey, man, they're showing that hometown spirit, man. Like you said, man, you and Troy Pascal just playing, from the Sandbox together, coming up together, man. So like you said, that dynamic of already knowing each other, on the court is already there before you even got to, Thompson High. Like you said, you was a younger guy behind these older guys, man. Showed you a lot. You just kind of fell in, man. So now we get, towards your junior year, you're already a star. You've been nationally ranked, you know what I mean? And now you start getting into when you're hearing some of the Ricky Moores and, not William maybe yet because he still was a younger guy. But then you guys, you battled West Side and Thompson. And West Side now is becoming kind of a rivalry.
Yes.
In that 3A and in that region together. And now that your junior year, man, you have another stellar year. But Thompson, these guys, they top y'all. While 1 point, in the region championship, man. So let's tell us a little bit about that.
Actually, that's when the rivalry actually started.
Oh, it started right then.
Yeah, me and Ricky Moore was, I'm Vonteego Cummings. He's Ricky Moore. We're great players. We're good players. But the rivalry started actually our junior year because my first 2 years, there wasn't no rivalry.
Right.
Like, my freshman year, Westside wasn't that good.
Right.
My sophomore year, we meet them. They're 26-1. We're 26-1. We smashed them in Thompson. Smashed them.
Yeah.
Like for the region championship.
Gotcha.
So there was no rivalry. Like, but going into my junior year, no, everybody left. The Charles Tigers is gone. Troy Pascal is gone. Alonzo Williams is gone.
Right.
So now I go to Harlem.
Gotcha.
And I asked another good best friend of mine, Antron Lee.
Antron Lee, yeah.
Yeah, and he's playing in Harlem at this time.
Right.
So I go to him and I asked him, like, you should transfer to Thompson. Well, not ask him, I tell him, but in this sense I'm asking him, And he thought about it and we talked a while for it and he decided to transfer to Thompson. And at this time, he's the only one besides me that played varsity minutes. Everybody else is coming back for Thompson, coming from JV.
Right.
Or they are guys that waited their turn.
Gotcha.
So we have a young team, and now it's solidified that I'm the man.
Right.
So I asked Antron to come, and he came, and we with Coach Thomas' system, and with my league, we was gonna be good anyway because we had some guys that really know their role.
Gotcha.
If you're a shooter, you shoot. If you're a rebounder, you rebound. If you're a defender, you defend.
Exactly.
So we had all of that.
Right.
We just didn't have the Charles Tigers, Alfonso Collins. We didn't have Alonzo Williams. We didn't have Troy Pascal.
Right.
We didn't have them kind of players now. So now we have more really role players.
Right.
And we have 1 and 2 alpha dogs.
That's it.
So we go from there.
Yeah, that's it, man. And like you said, man, always, man, I tell people all the time, man, it's always better to have good guys that know their role than have all 5-star players. Because if you know your role and you know what you're supposed to do, and nobody wants to step on each other's toes, man. Like I said, you and Antron were the big dogs, and y'all understood that, and everybody around y'all understood that, man. I feel like, that played into y'all's success, man. So like you said, you go recruit Antron, man. He comes to Thompson. Like you said, you're the main guy. He's the guy. Young team coming. So what were just some expectations going into that season? Because like you said, Troy Pascal, a lot of other guys, they leave. So what were just some expectations for?
Well, the expectation around Thompson, that it was just excited that I was coming back, and I think the expectation was going to see how could I lead.
Exactly.
But I was born a natural leader.
Gotcha.
Like, I always been a leader, always made decisions, and that was never going to be a problem. It was just the fact that people were seeing the unknown. They never seen guys that a whole basically new team that have to play. And Thompson is always a couple guys lead, but a couple juniors there, a couple sophomores that you see.
Right.
So this was the first time that Coach Thomas went through a real, what most people would call a rebuild.
Right.
We just
reloaded, basically.
Yeah, basically. We just reloaded. It wasn't a rebuild. We just reloaded, but we reloaded with less talent, but we reloaded with guys that really know their role.
Right.
And everybody played their role. And on that team, Antron and myself, we just had bigger pieces.
Right.
But in order to complete the mission, we all had to put our pieces together.
Definitely. I definitely feel that, man. So, like, you go through that junior year, it's stellar, man. And now this is leading up to your senior year, man. So you guys go through that season, man, and you guys kind of play like a non-region schedule. And that kind of leads into this infamous matchup that everyone talks about, man, that was over at Augusta University, man. Just built the Christian Berry Fieldhouse during that time, man. And like I said, you're playing along guys with, of course, Antron Lee, Chauncey Cheatham, Clinton Jones, Carlos McNair, and you guys are getting ready to match up against Ricky Moore and William Avery, man. So, both teams come in with a combined 49-5 record in that game. Y'all at the top, they're at the top. Just tell us about just building up to that game.
Well, for us, like, if you look back in hindsight, if we don't play that national schedule,
right,
we probably would play Westside again for the state championship.
Right.
So, but we don't regret anything. We wanted to play in that. We wanted to play some tough teams, and we wanted to be ready because at that time, to be honest, we didn't think anybody in Augusta could beat us.
Right.
Like, and at this time, like, this is going on 4 or 5 years, 6 years. We don't think nobody in Thompson can beat us.
Right.
Like we know Westside just beat us last year.
Right.
Okay, but you beat us at the buzzer on, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you know, but we don't feel like nobody could beat us, so we'll take our chances and so we rolled the dice and we got upset by Laney.
Right.
So that's put us in the matchup with Westside. But for us, there was really no thought going into the game. Like it was just another game. It was just like us playing ARC, Glen Hill. Like our mindset was always even kill. We're gonna go in here and do what we do, and we're gonna be victorious.
Right.
Obvious that didn't happen, but that was our mindset. So to answer your question, before the game, the city was lit up.
Yeah, definitely.
But for us, it was never Ricky Moore versus Vonteego Cummings. For us, it was Thompson versus Westside.
Gotcha.
So, and that's how we approached it, and we didn't do anything different that day. We didn't do anything different in school.
Right.
We went about our normal routine. We did what we normally do, and when we walked in, we thought we was going to walk out victorious.
Right.
And we did that going into every game.
Right.
But we just came up short, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Right, got you, man. Like you said, definitely a part in CSRA history, man. And it's stellar to be a part of that, man. Like you said, came up a little short, man, but that's a game that's forever be in the hearts of everyone that was there. Like you said, during that time, man, there's no social media, none of that going on, no tweeting out, nobody putting it on their Facebook Live. But like you said, this is a legendary moment in this city's history, man. So, like I said, this shout out to you guys for that, man. Like I said, the game went double overtime. Of course, Westside was able to get the victory, man.
Yeah.
But like you said, man, that's something that everyone has to remember. When you talk about Vonteego Cummings and Ricky Moore and William Avery, that's the thing that comes up. That's the number one. That's the first thing that comes out of everyone's mouth, man. So you have a stellar career, man, at Thompson, and just naturally you got aspirations of going on to the next level.
Yes.
So, just what was the recruiting process like for you, and why Pitt?
For me, the recruiting process was hectic more probably for my parents.
Okay, yeah.
Because at this time, like, the phone can ring anytime. Like, they could just call many times they want a week, like, So, but for me, I was actually enjoying it because, like I told you, I was a young kid and I studied the game of basketball. So I remember being a young kid, like, watching Big Monday to Riffit Tuesday.
Gotcha.
Like, and they always had this thing where at this time they wasn't only picking player of the game for the winning teams. They was picking player of the game for both teams.
Gotcha.
And I always just look and be like, and I remember telling my mom one day, I'm gonna be one of them guys one day.
Gotcha.
So always knew that I wasn't gonna go to school in Georgia or in the SEC. I knew that.
Gotcha.
Because I felt like those places was too close to home. And I don't need to be at Georgia Tech or UGA or somewhere close where it's a Sunday and I'm kicking it with my homies. And, and knowing
I can make it back.
Yeah, I can make it back in time.
And,
you know what I mean? So
I've been there.
I didn't want to do that. At the time, I was one of them kids, like, I need to get away to, what I mean, when adversity hit, I have problems. I can't just run home.
Yeah.
I just got to face it and deal with it.
Right.
So so I knew it was going to be away. So it became UConn, Pitt, Michigan, UCLA. And I chose Pitt because Pitt told me they would give me the ball as soon as I get off the plane.
Oh, that's stellar.
So them telling me that I was going to get the ball straight off the plane is kind of weird because no other school told me that, but when they told me that, only thing I could think about was Coach Thomas.
Right.
Coach Thomas didn't start me as a freshman, but Coach Thomas gave me the ball as a freshman.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So when they said that, that's all I could think about was Coach Thomas. And Coach Thomas, I believe in him 1,000%.
Right.
Like, he's the reason I got to where I was. So when they told me that and me and him sat down and talked about it, he kind of, let me choose where I wanted to go, but he kind of co-signed it when I said, I think about Pitt.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, it's the Big East, and right now that's the toughest conference out.
Yeah, definitely was.
So he was like, I like it. And I didn't even ask my parents. I just told my parents I'm going to Pitt. And they was like, okay.
Yeah, that's
so that's what it was. But I had a lot of offers, but I chose Pitt for your question because they told me they would give me the ball right off the plane.
Right. I got you, man. And like you said, man, just harping back to when you say with Coach Thomas, man, just remembering those principles. You already had the ball in your hand, even as a freshman when you wasn't starting. So you was used to that, just having the ball in your hand, running the show, man. So like you said, you chose Pitt, man. They're in the Big East at their time, man. Since the '80s, the Big East has been the premier college basketball conference in college basketball. You know what I mean? So like I said, let's just talk about the Big East, man. During your time, college basketball, we know what the Big East represented, man. Guys like Allen Iverson, Ray Allen, Rip Hamilton, Kerry Kittles, Troy Murphy, yourself. Just tell us about this. How competitive was the Big East back then, man, and how tough was it for you at Pitt? Just to migrate through that.
My freshman year was very tough because I got hurt, and I had to sit a lot of games, and and then getting acclimated to the school life, I remember going my freshman year, and I'm like, I'm always getting a call like, V, you supposed to be here. V, you supposed to be there, and I'm like, when am I supposed to sleep? When am I supposed to, you know what I mean? So everything was moving so fast, but after my freshman year, everything set in. My sophomore year, junior year, everything just set in, and then it was it was just, everything was gravy then. I didn't have any problems. Basketball was tough because it's the Big East, but basketball is my passion. Basketball is something I love. I'm very competitive, so I take my chances with any contestant. So I didn't have no problem on the basketball court end, So just meeting new people, meeting new connect, meeting new resources. So just, I don't know. At the time, I wasn't thinking, but now it's all helped out because, I could reach out to some people at Pitt. I could,
definitely.
For connection, resources, whatever. So, but I guess that's what I was doing then, But at the time, I was just, doing what I thought a kid's supposed to do. You go to school, you play basketball, you have fun, you meet people.
Yeah, that's it, man. Like you said, college is the best networking process that it is out here, man. You go and you meet so many different people from so many different
walks of life. Yeah,
different backgrounds. You may meet somebody
that's from all kinds.
Rural Montana.
Yes.
You're from a small city here in Georgia, man, and you're able to connect with those guys, and you never know what those relationships may build, of course, down the road, man.
Yeah, but even as, like I told you earlier, I was always been a leader. I go off energy. I don't care what color you are. I go off energy. Even when I was younger, I had white friends, still got them to this day. I remember as a 9th grader, I'm just coming from 8th grade. I never did one day in 9th grade yet. I never entered the high school yet as a student. So we go to basketball camp, but we have all black boys and one white guy.
Yeah.
The white guy's named Jason Smith. And to this day, he's still my friend. We still connect. We still talk. So he was the only white guy on Thompson team.
Yeah.
And before Coach could even say something, I told Coach I would room with him because it's 2 to a room.
Right.
So I was like, I would room with him.
Right.
So I don't know if anybody else was going to room with him or not, and I didn't see a problem.
Right.
I just said I would room with Jason. And it just became out that, I eliminated a problem before it became a problem.
Yeah, because if Vonteego can room with this guy, anybody can room with this. It's kind of like the lemon in the room.
Right.
It's kind of iced it before it even became a problem. Because like you said, it's not a problem. He was like, and if Vonteego can do it, and he's our guy, then anybody can do it, man. So
exactly.
Definitely shout out to that, man. That's what's up, bro.
So, and I was big on, too, the guys that don't play much.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm quote unquote supposed to be the guy on the team. The guys that don't play much and not much in the rotation, I make sure that I hang out and make sure that they're good with,
Right.
Make sure, the temperature is good with them.
Right.
Because I think that's your part as being a leader.
Yeah, that's great leadership, man.
So.
Great leadership, definitely, man. And I kind of done that myself in college, man. I always guy that started from a freshman all the way to a senior. And those incoming guys coming in, man, I was always one to take them up under my wing.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, man, this is what you need to do. This is how it need to be done. Hey, man, if you need something, I got you. We ain't here on no freshman hazing.
Exactly.
I've been in the position that you're in. If you a baller, I respect your game. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I respect your game. At the end of the day, man, we're trying to win a conference championship here. I played in the FCS, so now we're trying to win a national championship, bro. So, everybody plays a part.
Exactly.
So I want you to feel a part just like I'm a part because I've been in your position before, man. So, like I said, that's just great leadership on your part, man. So, like I said, man, you have another stellar career at Pitt, man. All Big East player, man. And now we get into 1999. You're getting ready to leave Pitt, man. So, you getting ready to get drafted, man. What's the draft process like for you? Because we know that, you know, basketball at this point is not just an American game no more. It's a global game.
Yes.
It's even more global today. But
Yes,
back
way more.
during your time, it was just beginning to be global. And you've seen a lot of the Dirk Nowinskis and all the Manu Ginobili's. They're coming out. They're starting to be prevalent now.
Right.
In the NBA. So what was it like, the draft process like for you?
Well, my mindset was to just get drafted.
Yeah.
Like was a childhood dream, and like I had a chance to leave as a junior, but I promised my parents that, you know, that I would get my degree.
Gotcha.
You know, and I promised my coach I would stay. So I honored my word, even though I could have left, and back in hindsight, maybe I should have left. But, you know, it's all good. But I stayed and had a pretty good year. And, you know, I knew that I was, you know, I had heard that I would, you know, I got a chance to be drafted in the first round.
Right.
Or early second round, or, you know, whatever. And the process started. As soon as the season over, I went to start training, and you get calls, you go for workouts, and, you know, you go for meetings, and, you know, they want to check your temperature, see what kind of, you know, person you are, with the way you grew up, and, you know, everything. And so, you know, I went through that process, but I thought that process was fun because now they could travel the world again, you know, like
definitely, man.
getting free tickets, and, you know, you staying in different hotels. And at that time I was young.
Yeah.
So
Taking it all in.
yeah, I was taking it all in, and I was having fun. And for me at that time, I'd never been in no NBA arena.
Exactly.
So when I'm going to these places, I'm more thrilled, you know, I'm going back to the little kid in me. I want to go to the NBA. So I'm just looking at the arena, you know, looking at the locker room. You go, I work out for the Lakers. I'm looking at Shaq locker. I'm looking at Kobe locker, you know.
Man.
So
You definitely in that era, man.
so I'm in that, you know, in that mode at the time. Like at the same time, it was unreal.
Right.
You know, because I'm looking at guys that, you know, lockers, or actually meeting the guy that I just watched on TV you know. So it was surreal at that moment, but always dreamed of that.
Hey, man,
and I always thought it would one day happen. So
yeah, that's what's up, man. Like I said, you know, like you said, this going through that process, man, it definitely brings back, you know, the kid in you, man. Because like you said, that's been a lifelong dream of yours, and now you're finally accomplishing. And now you just wild and amazed. Like I said, I went through it myself, man. Just being in the locker room, and you're in there with Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs, guys you just seen the previous year when you were in college playing. And like I said, it's just magical, man. And hearing from you, a guy that, you know, done it at a high level, because we know, you know, football, I wouldn't underestimate it. Say it's easy to make it, but you have a more of an opportunity. Like I said, basketball.
You have more people,
more people, so
more positions. So
you know, basketball is a global sport, and it's hard to make it to the NBA, man. It's very hard. You know, like you said, it's maybe 1 out of every 500 kids.
Yes, exactly. If we fill this room up right now with 450 people, only one is probably gonna make it.
Right.
You know,
right,
maybe
one.
maybe one.
He's
you know,
gonna get a shot.
Get a shot. You know what I mean? So, and I tell people that, but I try to tell the kids that I train and people that I be around, you should use the game though, you know, to get where you need to go in life, and you know, don't let the game use you, because most people, in football too, most people last game playing the sport is going to be senior night. Yeah. You know, than it is, you know, to go to college.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? You know, it's a low percentage. So you have to look at it that way. Like, and I don't know if today kids look at it that way, you know. I said, but it's on them, you know.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I feel like, you know, today's kids, they definitely have more of a opportunity. There's more opportunity out there for them. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's only going to just be a few select guys that are able to make it. Like I was going through my senior year, I knew I was going to college to play, and so I look, it was only 4 of us signed, and look at all those guys that played on those teams at my high school, how good we were, those runs we made in the state playoffs, and only 4 of us signed. Exactly. Well, no, 5 of us signed, but only like 1 or 2 of us went.
Exactly.
So you know, and then out of those 1 or 2, I'm the only actually guy that got a shot in the NFL, and the career wasn't that long. So like you said, the opportunities don't really come like that, man. So like you said, this shot of that.
I think today's it's a double-edged sword, because I think now, back when I was coming up, there was no trainers.
Yeah,
you couldn't go to train, so kids do have that. But I think also like social media and all that can backfire on you. Yeah, because it has a kid thinking or looking like he's better than he really is, and then when he goes somewhere and have to show what he have, he get exposed.
Yeah. Get exposed, yeah.
Because you know, it's just his is all highlights and his is just all social media. But when you get in, you know, between the lines. You really have to play now.
Yeah.
So I think it's a double-edged sword because, you know, like you putting a lot of pressure on a kid. Like if I had a kid that played basketball that was really good,
yeah,
you could be really good, but you won't be going to social media with it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people to put the pressure. When they see you now, they're going to be like, oh, I thought he was really nice. Or I thought she was really nice. Like,
yeah,
you know, nah, like when you get there, you just show them you nice.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
definitely, man. Like you said, it's a double-edged sword, man. Where our kids, today's kids, man, just today's you've been able to use social media, man, also to help them. And like you said, it hurts them, man, because you can definitely be exposed.
Yeah,
man.
see, now you can watch a highlight.
Yeah.
When I was coming up, you had to watch a video.
Yeah, the whole
like,
tape.
You had to watch the whole tape or a certain amount of minutes of the tape.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't just, you know,
cut your highlights up and watch
you know.
And believe it or not, man, like I said, I'm in some of these recruiting circles, man, some of these recruiting meetings, and coaches now, believe it or not, some of these head coaches, defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators, they may look at your highlights and, okay, well, this guy can play. He obviously got some talent, but we want to see a ball game.
Yeah, but you're dealing with high-level people that know the game, so they know highlights is just highlights.
Everybody got it.
You know,
everybody got
highlights is just highlights. You know?
Yeah.
So they know that, and so that's why, you know, people can put many highlights as you want, but the people who really know the game,
right,
they're gonna know. They will find you.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
If you that guy,
if you that guy,
that young lady,
they will find you.
Definitely,
Exactly.
man. So like you say, 1999, man, you get drafted 26 overall by the Golden State Warriors, man. Like I say, man, I know there's got to be something remarkable for you and your family. You know, you get there, man. You spend 3 seasons. I think 3 seasons in Golden State. 3 seasons in Golden State, man. You play with guys like Mookie Blaylock, Antoine Jameson, Eric Dampier, man. What was that experience like for you, man?
For me, it was really good. Great, like to go there, like it was surreal to get drafted. First of all, you know.
Right.
So, but once I got to Golden State and to actually, you know, I knew Antoine Jameson before that. You know, I had played against him. Actually, Antoine Jameson won beat me and Ricky Moore in the National AAU Championship.
Gotcha.
Like he beat us, so I knew him, and we had a little core. So he kind of, you know, when I first got there, took me in, you know, to show me like what was going on, you know,
Gotcha, yeah.
how things was run, because he was just a rookie the year before. And then after that, once training camps kicked off and we got into the regular season, they actually put my locker right beside Antoine Jameson though. But
right.
Mookie Blaylock and John Starks, the one really took me in.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So those was my OGs, and those were my veterans. Those are the ones that, you know, I catered to, and they looked after me, and they showed me the ropes. They the ones showed me how to be professional.
Gotcha,
you know,
yeah.
So that was it, and it was just all, for me, my first year was just, I'm enjoying the roller coaster ride. I'm enjoying the ride. I'm in the NBA. Like,
yeah, for sure,
I
man.
told y'all I was gonna make it. I'm here. You know, so
all the time. You gotta enjoy the ride, man.
I enjoyed the ride my first year. You know, we wasn't that good, so, you know, but that was the first time I got to a place where you lose a game and they say, you know, okay, we didn't make shots tonight, or, you know, we didn't rebound tonight. All right, we gotta come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a roller coaster, you know, and I enjoyed every bit of it, man. It was just a great rookie season for me.
Right.
You know?
Gotcha.
So I had actually I played well though. You know, the team wasn't successful,
definitely.
but I played well my rookie year.
Right.
You know, so
And that's what's up, man. Like I said, so you spend those 3 years there, man, and like you said, rookie season, you just enjoying the ride, man. You're in California, man. You know, you playing, like I said, you're playing up under guys like, you know, Mookie Blaylock with John Starks. They're teaching you the way, and eventually, man, you know, you go on to the Philadelphia 76ers, and now you're there with AI, and maybe the expectation because of the success they've had. I think maybe the previous 2 years, you know, making it to the NBA Finals, battling against Kobe and Shaq, there's a little bit more expectation now on that Philadelphia 76ers team. So what was that expectation? So what was that experience like for you?
now that experience was on 1,000.
Gotcha.
You know, so you're going there, you're playing with the little guy, you're going to play with Chuck, you're playing with AI, and, you know, I already knew him before I got there. So we became real close. Derek Coleman, Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah.
You know, so we all became close, and it just became one big family, man. Like,
Gotcha.
every day, we all together every day.
Yeah.
Every day after every practice, we're together.
Yeah.
We on the road, we're together. You know, so it was just fun, and you know, I didn't play much there. You know, that's when I got the name there, 911. You know, that I would play whenever, you know, one of the guards get hurt.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I would play well in my little minutes. You know, so
Right.
But that experience, man, was great. You know, we won. We went to the playoff, but we lost to Boston.
Yeah.
I think at that time it was the best out of 5.
Right.
Yeah,
First round.
Yeah.
Best
So
out of 5,
we lost to Boston, and that was it. But I enjoyed every bit of it, man. I still have a relationship with them guys, and you know, and it just became a big family, and they welcomed me in the Sixers family.
Man, that's what's up, man. Like I said, shout out to that, man. Like you said, just you know, being out there with AI, he's a legend. Mutombo, who's a legend, like you said, just all being together every day is like a family, man. Know that's just like you said, a great experience, man. So eventually, man, you leave the NBA and you take your talents abroad, man.
Yep.
And when we talk about overseas basketball now, well, we see a lot of guys, young guys that come up. Everyone wants to have the NBA dream, but we know now that basketball is global. It definitely has expanded to many different shores outside of the U.S. And you can make a living here. You can make a living now playing basketball overseas, man. So, how was that for you, man, just going overseas, playing in so many different countries, man, so, many different other teams. What was that like for you? For
me, I like Europe. I don't advise everybody, to do it because some people probably can't handle it.
Yeah.
Like there's really, if you don't got your friends or your family, like there's really no social life.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like, and I'm one of them guys, I stick to myself. Yeah. And I didn't go to Europe to sightsee the Greek mythology and all that. I went to play basketball.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So I knew what I was going for. But I had fun, man, in different countries, and I was always on good teams, and it's different. They treat basketball different, like, you know what I mean? Like, they get really upset when you lose, like, it's not. We understand that it's a game. We understand that you played another team that practice.
Right.
And they don't seem to understand that, but that's part of Europe culture. Once you get used to it, you know what you equip with.
Yeah.
So and that's what it was with me. I just adjusted to it, man, and then and for the most part, basketball is my sanctuary. So once you put the ball in my hand, I'm okay.
Right.
So. And for the most part on every team I was on, I was the leader. Not saying the leading scorer or anything. I was the lead guard that's just the leader. I'm just a natural leader. So
gotcha.
On the court, I'm an extension of the head coach.
Gotcha.
So that was fun, and I knew that I was the engine, I was the transmission, and they go how I go.
Right.
So I can't go into whether if I'm having a bad day today or not. In my personal life, I can't show that on the court because I'm the transmission. The engine and the transmission got to run well in order for
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So already, man.
But I had fun in Europe. I went to Israel. I went to Italy. I went to Greece. I went to Cyprus. I went to Poland. I went to Serbia.
Yeah. You've been living everywhere.
Yeah. So,
that's what's up,
but it was fun. I don't. Like I said, I don't advise everyone.
Yeah, and like you said, man, just those experiences, man. Everyone don't get the experience, and like I said, I think it's good for our youth to know. Like I said, for the guys that can handle being abroad, that hey, if you don't make it to the NBA, you can go over here and you can play and you can make a living over here. Because like you said, it's some slim chances of getting to the NBA. Like you said, if you got 500 guys in the room, only probably want to make it. But you do have some guys. It's high level competition over there in Europe as well. But you can actually, if you guys are good enough players, you can go over here to Europe, man. Keep your head down and just work hard, and you can make a good career over here, man, and a good living, man. So,
exactly. So I think that's why. But see, there's a little difference. Like, kids, if you grew up and saying, "Okay, I just want to play professional," then Europe is an opportunity. You can go there, and there's a lot of opportunity to go to Europe because they have different leagues.
Yeah,
different division. So there's a lot of opportunity. But me, at first, I grew up thinking about the NBA. I ain't know nothing about no Europe.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You first got to get to that point.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But if you grew up saying, okay, I just want to play professional. I don't care where I play. I like, all right, so we'll sign you with the Georgia Soul. Yeah. If you want to play professional.
Shout out to the Georgia. We're going to get into that.
Yeah, so it's just your mindset and, and being real with yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Knowing that where your skill level is and knowing how much work you put in or, So just being real with yourself, that's all. And I think, a lot of young kids now, they're not real with themselves.
Right.
Because, they are surrounded with people that tell them everything they want to hear.
Right.
Yes, man, and then they get upset with constructive criticism.
Right.
So, that's it. But once they weed that out, there's a lot of opportunities.
Definitely.
You could play. If you want to play professional, there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, it may be hard, but there's a opportunity. Nothing is supposed to be easy.
Yeah, definitely
You know what I
right.
mean?
If
So,
it was easy, then anybody could do it.
anybody can do it.
I definitely
that
believe-
would
I
that wouldn't
definitely
make
believe
you
in that.
special.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
everybody can't play basketball.
Definitely, they definitely can't, man.
Right,
They
like
definitely
everybody can't play football.
They can't, man.
You know,
They tell
so-
people NFL, man, it's not only a contact sport; it's a collision sport.
Yes.
When you got two grown men at the peak of their powers running into each other, and it can be very dangerous. You know, I enjoyed it for my time, and it was good for me and my family, man. The journeys I was on, man.
Right.
But like you said, at some point it comes to an end.
Yeah.
You have to move on, man. So like you said, goes back to what you're saying. Just networking, knowing people to put you in different positions.
Yeah, because
after the game.
they're going to be taking out the ball one day.
Yeah, definitely. Whether you take
Whether-
it out or they take it out you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's
The air
definitely
will be taking out the ball. So
even-
what are you going to do then? You know, so
Yeah. Even
that's what I
with
say.
the best of them, Tom Brady, they're gonna take the air out of his ball one day.
It's gone this year.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think it'll come back one more year, man.
I think he's done, but he's my favorite player. He's my
Okay,
favorite
that's what's
athlete.
up. Yeah, I respect
He's
Tom.
my favorite athlete.
Yeah.
Like, you
He's one of
know,
mine as well.
Yeah, so but I think he's done this. But I don't know if I think he's done. Maybe I want him to be done.
Yeah, you don't want to look so bad. You know.
No, not that look bad. I think now that it became a hate thing with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Because people hate to see you be successful for so long.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they tired of like seeing
Tired
him
of seeing
winning.
him
You know
win.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I kind of understand that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So before I let people just hate on him, I'd rather him just, you
He's
know,
going out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just
Because like
going
you said,
out.
Tom was a guy that was beloved, man. He was a
Yeah.
low round draft pick, 6th or
Exactly.
7th round pick.
Yeah.
You know, so
He
definitely
overachieved.
you
Yes,
know.
exactly.
He done what Peyton and Eli were supposed to do.
Yes.
He was able to do that. Those
Exactly.
guys were projected to win multiple Super Bowls. You know,
First picks.
First pick. You know,
Yeah,
that was
exactly.
first round draft picks. He's a bottom pick. You know, coming out of Michigan, nobody thought it was a nobody, man. So, like I said, just get back in your journey, man. You play basketball. You know, you play ball abroad, man, professionally. You come back home, man. We see you get into some training, man. You know, now, doing your thing with the Georgia Soul, man. So, just tell about, this, some stuff you're doing with the training, and this, now you're involved with the Georgia Soul. Let's tell us a little bit about that.
Well, my training just came about, like, I was just home really doing nothing, just relaxing, just chilling,
Yeah.
And some parents reached out to me, like, wanted their kids train.
Right.
And I just started with 1 or 2 kids, man, just doing, and it just blew up.
Yeah.
So, and it became a thing where the kids gravitate to me out, more than just basketball.
Right.
Like, I could relate to them, especially a lot of the kids that I train from Thompson, I really can relate to them.
Right.
Because I come from where they come from.
yeah,
You know what I
exactly. You
mean?
seen it firsthand.
And I know most of them parents, or, I probably grew up with their parents or somebody in their family. So, and I may see them, bump shoulders with them just, out and about or whatever. So I kind of, they gravitated to me, and it became a thing, man, where the kids love me, I love them. So I just stuck with it.
Gotcha.
And then it's just been running smooth ever since. It wasn't nothing that I planned. It wasn't nothing that, I said that I wanted to do. It was just, some parents reached out to me, and I started with 1 or 2, and it just blew up, and I gravitated to the kids gravitated to me, and now we're just, one big family.
Hey, that's what's up, man.
And they understand me, I understand them. So,
And that's what's up, man. Like you said, just going back, to your native home, the community of Thompson, McDuffie County, and just giving back, man. I feel like sometimes, man, as athletes, some of us that's, been on your level, that's been the top dog, some of us, a lot of us don't reach back. Like I said, but shout out to guys, like yourself, or guys like a Dion Grant, because I'm from that area where he grew up at. You know what I'm saying? And you guys like yourself, like you said, you're hands-on with the kids, man. He's always been a guy that's been, and I didn't even go to Josie, but I'm from the area. But like, he's always a guy that you can see his face, his presence.
Right.
Always. Sometimes your presence can be, more than your money can be. When I can see a guy come from where I come from, and he made it, and that's the reason why I done this podcast, man, was like, hey, man, that guy right there, we remember him when he played, and he made it, and he's trying to give us a platform for us to, express ourselves, and somebody can notice us, and we can play. So like I said, that's what it's all about, man. So like I said, shout out to you for that, man. So like you said, I know you got some things going on with the Georgia Soul, man, new league going on. They did. I know a lot of those guys out there, on those teams. That's my era. A lot of those guys that's on there, man. So what's been up with that?
Nothing. We're just working, man. We start training camp in February. Season kickoff in March.
Gotcha.
We working. Like, I think we're gonna be pretty good. All the guys, they work hard. They're good players. They have good character. So, it's the first year that we're playing in this league, so it's gonna be tough. But like we said earlier, nothing is supposed to be easy. You know what I mean? If it's easy, you don't really deserve it.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So, I think we're gonna be okay, and I just hope people come out and support,
Definitely got to support.
the players in the area, or, maybe we have a couple of players from not in the area, but, hopefully we have a good showing and, we can do well for the community.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Like you said, man, just coming out, man, and, supporting the Georgia Soul, man, because like you said, we're only as big as our community and the people that support us within it. You know what I mean? So, man, Vonteego, man, it's definitely been just a pleasure, man, having you here, man, telling you your story from Thompson to the pit, to the NBA, overseas, abroad, coming back home, man. But before we get out of here, man, I always ask guys that, done it at your level, such a high level, made it, seen it, know what it takes to get there. Just some advice for some of our youth out there, man. Young lady, young man that wants to get to where you at, or just this person in life that's just trying to be motivated to stay on top of their game, just to get to, some success in their life. What would be your advice to them?
First thing I tell them, they have to be respectful. Respect whatever they're doing. Like, respect basketball, respect football, respect softball, respect your parents. So you just got to be respectful, and you have to believe in yourself, because there's going to be a lot of people that don't believe in you.
Definitely.
We're sitting here talking today, and I'm sure, a lot of people say I was a good player, but just as many people that say I was a good player, there's a lot of people who didn't like my game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It probably was the same with you.
Yeah, definitely.
So you have to stay confident in yourself, because, if you're not mentally tough, you can
definitely
fall victim to what somebody else think of you.
Yeah.
So you have to have your own opinion, and you have to believe in yourself and get your support system right. And most important, you have to do your schoolwork.
Right.
Like, you're not going to play nowhere if you don't got schoolwork.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not saying you have to be an A student. I'm not saying you have to be an A-B student, but you have to give some kind of effort. You have to apply yourself, and you have to try.
Exactly.
Because even if you're a talent and you're not where you're supposed to be, someone will help you if they notice that you try and you put in the work.
Definitely.
But nobody's going to help you if you don't try and put in the work, because now they're going to feel like they're investing in something that's not even worth it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So before you find out that it's too late, you could just take heed to that now, and, just do your schoolwork, and don't be afraid to ask questions. There's no dumb question. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? A lot of kids is, they want to be cool. Like,
yeah.
We have this thing, like, in Thompson, I tell the kids, like, they walk around, like, with the saggy pants.
Right.
Like, it's cool, okay, I understand it's the culture, or that's y'all culture, or that's y'all little time, that's your little wave or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't like it if you're doing that and then you're supposed to be cool, but then when you go in the classroom, the teacher asks you to read. You're afraid to read.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now that's not cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just feel like, you have to apply yourself, and you have to, if you apply yourself and show people that you're giving your effort, that even if you're not well off, people will help you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's my thing, and just be respectful, respect the game, So, but I just think they don't respect the game like we did.
Yeah.
Now, that's just my opinion, but, a lot of people going to say that's just, a old school,
I
speaking
it,
on the young. But I just, from what I see, like, the game is not respected like it was back in the days, and that go for not just basketball.
Yeah.
They go for
all
football,
sports.
baseball, track, everything. Like, I just feel like, they're not respecting the game. They're just, I don't know, just maybe doing it just to pass time. If that's the case, that's okay too. Like, I have no problem with that, but don't mess it up for the people who really wants to better their life or better their family life in that.
Right, gotcha, man.
So that's all I say.
Man. So, hey, man, definitely, respect those words of encouragement. So we heard it, man. Respect, get those grades, get those books, man, and put forth your best effort, man. Vonteego, from me to you, man, all of us at PCP Press Coverage Podcast, bro. Hey, we definitely appreciate you coming through, man. Just, sharing your journey with us, man, spreading light on us, and this, man, and just being a pillar for, for the youth in the community, man. So from me to you, man, I definitely appreciate you coming through.
Thanks.
Bro.
Thanks for having me. Anytime you need me,
man, I definitely
I'm a phone
appreciate
call
you, man.
away. So
thank you, brother. Thank you.
You.
Hey, man. Hey, PCP Press Coverage Podcast, man. This is episode 10, man. We're with the legend, the Thompson legend, Vonteego Cummings, man. Hey, we're out of here, brother. We appreciate you. Thank you.